Hello, 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 everyone. Hello and welcome. I'm gonna just wait up a couple of minutes so that everyone else can join in, can hop in this call, and we can have more people over. We're starting just in time, but still, let's give more people time to be able to come in, so we can all start at the same time. But thank you for everyone who just hop in the call very, very in time. Thank you. We really appreciate that. I'm going to say good morning and good evening or afternoon because I know this webinar reaches out from Latin America all the way out to Europe. So we have different time zones. So good morning and good afternoon or evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. And really excited to have you all here, starting the week with the right food, with this amazing, amazing panelist that we're having today. Super, super happy to be able to share with all of these incredible leaders, incredible ladies about their career paths and what they have to share with us. So once again, given a couple of minutes just so that more people can join us and we can get started at the same time. Thank you for all of you guys who have joined in time. We have a very packed agenda with really good topics. So I'm not going to go too crazy on the waiting time because we have so much to cover. And I really want um, all of these women to just go deep down on anything that they have to share with us and give all of their knowledge of many years working on the fields, so we can gain a lot of knowledge from them. So I'm just going to give just 2 more minutes before we can get started. But I see that a lot of people are starting to just get into the room. So I want everyone to not miss out on any information because we have a lot of great information from them. And again, since I know it's even super early in the morning for some of you, or kind of middle of the afternoon from some other, and that you guys are just hopping off calls or getting between calls, I understand. So that's why we're in the middle of the day. This is going to be recorded. We are going to be sharing this webinar with you, all of you, after this is done. And we're more than happy to be sharing all of this great knowledge. And thank you again for joining us. So I'm going to be having people over, admitting people as they walk in, but I don't want to be taking a lot of time for all of you that join in time. So, with that being said, I think we can get started. And as I said, thank you so much for all who joined in time and welcome everybody. Today, we're so excited to have this webinar. We're diving into getting to know these four amazing women who are part of Team International, and we'll get to hear from them all of everything that they have learned and all the challenges that they have faced throughout all of their professional career and how they can have become to drive all of this business and this change and all of the different aspects that they have been facing in their professional careers, and they have been sharing with us how they have overcome those different difficulties on the different aspects of the roles. And it's so good to hear from there because there's nothing better to learn from the best. I'm Daphne Lozano. Some of you already know me. I'm the PR specialist here at Team International, and I'm thrilled to be joined by this, as I said, these four incredible leaders from all throughout LATAM and Europe. And I'm more than certain that some of you guys might agree with me that these women are making a huge impact on every day in our company and also in the business out there. So let's meet them. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and so you guys can get to know them a little bit better. So with no particular order, just looking at how I have them in my screen. Eugenia, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, I have a hard name to pronounce. Evgenia Kotlar.
No.
That's a Slavic one. So I'm delivery manager and service studio director at Team International, and I'm here with the company almost 7 years. Actually, 2025 marks my 20th, let's say, year in the industry with over 10 years in the leadership roles, like various ones. Maybe fun fact about me, I got to IT really by accident, just thanks to my university friend. But no matter where career took me, I always found myself, leading teams, managing people, helping others to grow. So from some time, I realized who am I and embracing it ever since.
Wow, that's really amazing, your career experience and how you got into IT. Thank you so much. The next one I have on my screen, again, with no particular order. Vanessa, do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Of course. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanessa. I've been working with Team International for the past 4 years in the sales organization. And a fun fact about me is that I will restart kind of running again. I used to run races, but I mean, I paused because of COVID and a kid. So I want to reactivate that because it brings a lot of discipline and a structure to, everything that I apply in my life, personal, but also professionally. So that's something that I have in my goal list for this year.
Well, hopefully you ended up also running a huge marathon. Let's root for that.
Marathon, I think it's out of my list, but I have done I have run a half, but marathon, I think it requires probably 1 year of preparation before you can do something like that. So I have less
We'll
time
be
now, but
we'll be rooting for you. If it's a half or a full, we'll be rooting for you for sure. Thank you, Bunny. Now I
good,
have on my
thank you.
screen Anastasia. Do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, sure, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Anastasia Muchkina, and currently I'm located in Poland. I'm originally from Kharkiv, and I'm the global director of finance and accounting. And a fun fact about me is that team is my first place of job of work, and I've been with team I think around 18 years now.
Wow, that's a long career
Yeah, it's a
within the
long
company.
career, but never
Yeah,
boring.
that's amazing to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And last but not least, Laura, do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Daphne. So my name is Laura Villegas. I'm the managing director for the LATAM region of Team International. I've been working here for 8 years now in different roles. Fun fact about me, I never thought that I was going to be in HR. I always thought I was going to be in finance for some reason, but here I am. I'm very passionate about what I do every day.
Thank you so much. And as you all heard, they have a really big journeys with their professional career. So I want to deep dive a little longer on their leadership journey because they start somewhere and they have grown so much from that where they started. So I'm going to kick things off with this question. Vanessa, how's your professional style has evolved over time and what has influenced that change?
Absolutely. I think as you grow professional, you evolve. So regardless of the position that you're in, but definitely my leadership style has evolved just because I am more towards concentrating my efforts into like collaboration. So my goal is to always inspire the team members to be able to work towards something, towards a shared goal, to be motivated, to be always thinking of that they want to reach something else above of what they have already achieved. So that's something that has been, my passion over the past 5 years. And the influence, I think it has been thanks to the experience that I've had working
Oh, I
in
think
different industries, but also working with diverse teams with different cultural backgrounds. So that's something that has allowed me that has influenced how my leadership style has evolved. And also it has made it more dynamic and more inclusive to, different ideas. Because as we come from different backgrounds, from different regions, well, then definitely we're going to come up with different, ideas or expectations or ways of point of view. So that's how. I feel my leadership style has evolved, and the ability to work with different people has influenced how that leadership evolution.
Now, thinking about how you ladies have different backgrounds, and like you all mentioned, like I didn't expect to be here. This is my first job, different experiences. You have different industries, different scenarios, different cultural backgrounds. In your professional career world, Eugenia, how do you balance business needs, innovation, strategy growth across all of the different industry, taking into consideration all of what I mentioned?
That's a really good question. What I've learned that every industry has its own rhythm, style, sense of urgency, some business goals and success factors. So I think it all comes mostly from adapting to what is needed. You cannot use the same playbook for everywhere, and you need to understand what's going on deep inside the business. So it's not just kind of on the like, hey, we need to do this. So it's sort of like a different recipe, even though the ingredients might be very similar, but then you actually have to adjust. So for example, I worked with neobanks that the speed was everything. They wanted to get a big segment of market, so we need to go fast. But we also have to be compliant. So there should be top-notch teams, like without any delays. So you work on everything at the same time, on the processes, people, the quality. In contrast, sometimes for the older payment systems, you don't need all of that. You need a very stable team, just reliable processes, just kind of make everything work. No, don't do any kind of big jumps and try to improve everything at the same time. So just kind of tiny steps. But then I also had a combination like legal tech. This is the environment where you have really high compliance requirements. But this specific company I worked with, they actually had very fast-paced iterative approach to also get to the market. So actually that was a nice combination to adopt both of these, kind of keeping part of a team very stable, leading to the like reliable processes, and half of the team to be working on the fastest sprints and delivering this product to the market. So I think after all, you adapt and you actually balance all these innovations and other ingredients as you see from there, like every case. So every project will be different.
Thank you. You're so right. Like nothing has like the same recipe, even though they have probably the same ingredients. Nothing is would be the same recipe. Now, I would like
Yeah.
to.
I'll use,
I will,
ladies cooking analogies, like a
it
kitchen.
makes sense. It makes so much sense. Now, we have heard the recipe from Europe, but I would love to hear what would be the take on Latin America. So, Laura, how do you balance your business needs, innovation, strategy growth on the different countries?
Sure, I think for that you require a deep understanding of industry trends. So you really need to do your research, do your homework on what's happening in that specific industry. You need willingness to learn more about the different realities each customer has, and you need to have also um, flexibility to do some experiments within those industries to foster innovation. So I think combining those three things with obviously talent at the center can help you understand what is the priority for each customer. So, for example, when we work with financial services, that industry, we need to be very heavy on compliance and on data protection, for example. So understanding that specific factor is really important. But when we work with telco, for instance, it's all about scalability and speed. So how do you create an environment that gives that result to your customer, and how do you build your teams around those specific needs that each industry has? I think that combination of things has really helped us as a company to be successful and to position ourselves as experts and as a true partner for our customers.
So not only knowing and understanding the issues at the top level, but actually like digging deeper into getting to know the problem itself and how we're gonna go into the roots of that problem and how's that going to impact different aspects. That's key for actually business being a
And
business partner. Go
If
ahead.
I
Go
may,
ahead.
yeah, I would add that, like, I really echo what Laura said, that you also have to match the teams, actually, the right set of experts that can uh, sort of mirror what is needed. Because sometimes you're like, we all work with, people, humans. And if you have like really stable guys who don't want to be on a fast pace or just kind of delivering something urgently, you can't make this project. You have to have the same, rhythm of the team and the same passion if it's something to deliver fast. But otherwise, again, if you have very energetic or like young team members and this is something super steady, it may also not work out. So it's all about balancing these different factors together.
Yeah, agree. And also, like, there are people who and or profiles that tend to lean more into some kind of business than others, and it's really important from us to actually understand that, like Laura said, before actually tackling the problem, understanding what we're going to be dealt with to make sure that we have the best problem solver for those teams that we're putting together so we can put up together the best solution possible. So that's great to know that we have that vision that goes above and beyond of like the most expected solution, that we actually go to the nitty gritty needs of that solution to actually be more sufficient than just, oh, we're going to fix it easy. We are going to fix it easy, but also because of this and this and that, like you ladies mentioned. Thank you so much. Now, I know breaking barriers and overcoming challenges is not easy, and mostly because of us, we're an international company and we have so many multiculturals and international global issues. I know technology is such an enabler, it's such a powerful enabler lately, but real success comes from knowing how to use that strategically, as we said it. It's not only giving solutions, but how do we strategically use those solutions? Vanessa, a little back to you. Can you share some examples of how you have helped businesses mix with a human factor and the technology to drive real impact and beyond just implementation? How do you foresee beyond the evidence solution?
Absolutely. So we do this all the time. For us, our primary objective is to be able to really drive an impact for customers, and by really helping them to find the real top IT talent, but also at the quality and at the price that they need it, that really those engineers can bridge the gaps for the IT projects. So that's our primary objective. I mean, sometimes and often businesses really struggle to find the right expertise at the right quality, and that also can really, whenever they need to execute or accelerate critical initiatives. So that's where we come in, and I mean, we do this all the time. We're always trying to find the right talent for our customers, but also, as Laura mentioned, is not only about finding the right talent with the right technical skills. For us, it's also important someone that can match the cultural and the objectives of the customers, because it has to be that match between the technical skills, but also that cultural fit, as we call it, that make it like the perfect match. So we are constantly doing this for our customers, trying to kind of narrow that gap because they struggle most of the time to really find that perfect match for the initiatives that they have. So we concentrate the efforts of that, portion of the technical skills, which is very important, but also the human part, that this is someone that is really going to match those projects that
Mhm.
they really need. And this makes it more dynamic. It makes it more like a smooth process whenever we really need to go into matching those skills. And that's pretty much how we have been doing it, just making sure that we're really impacting customers, but we just go beyond just knowing what the technical skills will be. We also look at human factor that's necessary for everything that we do, because everybody that we are going to be positioning to a customer will be merging with an existing team. So they really have to match that essence of the team that they're going to be working on.
And I'm sorry to put you here in the spot, but is there something that when you're in this negotiation part, is there something that you're actually always thinking like, or asking, so you get like the best, like a question that if I ask them this, I know which would be the best human capability needed there. Is there something that you'd ask while the negotiating that you're gonna get the best thing that business?
It will depend on the stage of the project or what type of project, because they might need someone that's adaptable, someone that not necessarily it's going to be proactively providing ideas, because they just want someone that
Mm,
adapts to what they need. They can follow and learn. So that will be more kind of a junior, let's say, type of role, and that is perfect for what they need. But maybe
mhm,
in different scenarios or different projects, the client will come to us and say, I want someone fully independent and that can also actually proactively come with ideas or improvement ideas. And that will be more kind of a senior type of role. So it will really depend on the type of projects that we're doing. But yes, we usually ask, and especially with the help and support of STM and DMs, we ask like, what are those soft skills that you need besides the job description that you send, like the technical requirements? What is that additional type of skills more on the soft side that you need, that will be, let's say, kind of that perfect addition to this person that they're looking for? And usually customers come and say, hey, yes, I need someone that's able not only to merge to my existing team, but I want someone who's fully independent, or I need someone actually that can listen and can implement the processes that we already have and that is willing to learn and grow with us. But we don't want anyone to be in the position of providing ideas, because I mean, depending on the customer, we actually have one. He says like, we have too many leaders. I just need someone who is able to fully adjust to the process. That's why we said with the customer that we tend to have more junior, mid-level for that specific position with the client, but it will depend.
Perfect. But I think that at the end of the day, what is amazing is, like as you said, we do have the ability to go back to our teams, our internal teams, and say, hey, we need this. And we also have the ability to get all of that human work or the talent pool to just give the customer what they need. Like, we're not close to just say, hey, it's so hard for us. We do have that ability and power to just provide the customer whatever they need to fulfill their most sustainable and fulfilling
Mhm.
needs for their job. So that's amazing for us to be able to provide to our customers. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Now, going a little bit back to what Eugenia, you were telling us, the secret sauce. We all have the same ingredients, different sauces, but coming back, thinking a little bit on facing those unique challenges, whether it's regulation, this digital transformation that is happening around the world, the market competition, with so many years in Team International, having seen so many different aspects. In your experience, how do we approach this problem solving when you're working with different industries? Like you mentioned, you have working with so many different industries. And what leadership skills have you had to bring to the table to make this big impact when it comes to handling these different aspects on the different taking off and putting on different hats when having different markets at the table?
That's a challenging one. So I think some, things of problem solving are just work for everything. Like you have to be active listener and you have to be curious. I think that's what already Laura mentioned, that looking beyond the beyond what is represented by customer, because they lived with their pain, with their request for some time. It probably got through various stages, but then and they even maybe made up some decision or some solution for them. But you have different experience. That mostly they need this help because they for some reason cannot fulfill it internally,
Mm,
either technology or like is missing, or people or something. And you have this unique perspective of providing other angle. And I think that's what we ultimately trying to give our customers, just kind of to look at the problem, process through our filters, and also see it and see deeper. So actually listening and trying to get kind of and being genuinely curious, because sometimes even if we work with many like clients from finance or from insurance, like each one is a unique product, unique group, unique company that needs something. So actually that I think brings a lot to the table to kind of to really understand the what we can do better, what value we can bring. Then I think also some system thinking, also kind of universal stuff. You just
yeah.
kind of look at the system, but you also apply different patterns because again, banking is not necessarily may benefit from something that healthcare uses. So you also just use different facets to look at the problem and kind of see your historical background. That helps. And you greatly empower people. So if you have right experts, you should bring them to the table. And I think we will talk about it endlessly because it's not about you as a leader, right? You can do some things, but without a team, you cannot bring so much value. You can just kind of get the right people around you and let them drive, let them do this thing and organize all these ideas in some proper, let's say, flow that helps customer as well. So I think I'll stop here. I guess ladies might have other ideas because this is so fruitful topic to discuss.
It is, and as I say, we have like the different scenarios. So I'm not gonna put on the spot Laura on the other side of the map. How do you see from your experience? Because you also told us you were seeing yourself in a finance level. Then you came into an HR role. Now you're the managing director of Latam. So for you, how do you see those different industries? How do you see those different skills, those different leadership skills? What's your take on this? What's your biggest impact on this?
I'm very aligned with Virginia just say. I think everything goes from listening, active listening, to really understand your customer or the industry issue that's happening. And what has really helped me the most is understanding who I have on my team so I can leverage the skills that they have because I'm not an expert on everything. So I need to really understand what is my talent inventory so I can leverage the different skills that my talent has to solve those issues and really translate all the challenges that the customer have into technical solutions. And the way I do that is staying in touch with all my delivery managers, with the people that's working in the different projects, with my customer, like having regular check-ins with them, with the account executives. So I think that collaboration and fostering that collaboration always is really critical for being successful when you have a problem.
True, and to bring that like you said, like knowing the who is doing what and when, because we cannot be almighty and all knowing of everything. So you have to have, mostly being a leader, you have to have like the right team backing you up, because sometimes or most of the time you do have to depend on your team to help you out get moving. And I know we have been talking about customers a lot and the talent, but I don't want you guys to think that I only have here Anastasia just looking all pretty with amazing background. I want her to talk about a lot on, she said Team International was her first job. So, Anastasia, would love to know your personal experience, how Team International has supported you on your professional career, how you have made a complete path within Team International, and how have you ensured this career growth to get to the point of being a director within Team International. Can you please share with us a little more on your story?
Yes, of course. But first, I want to mention that it was very organic, and it was, I would say, it was natural because taking this role like a year ago. So I will start from the very beginning. So I mentioned that this is my first place of work, and I joined team when I was graduating from university, and I was really I had a very big wish to know how the company works from the inside, and I have to mention that team was a perfect place for that. So I would say that the first 3 years of working in team were the most challenging because during these 3 years, I became a lead of our accounting team because my previous manager, left the company to study in Europe. And during this first 3 years, we had the first migration of accounting system. You can imagine
Oh,
how
a
hard
lot,
that
a
was.
lot on your table.
not only technical, but also I had to learn the practical things about US accounting principle during that time. And our department was the only team that handled corporate accounting, and that was challenging because I thought that we need to build a credibility for Ukrainian accounting talents. And you need to keep in mind that that was like over 15 years when offshore team for financial function was not that, spread and usual thing during those years. So, and in addition to that, I have to mention that we built a strong accounting team for our client in the United States, who's been with us, I think, over 12 years now. So that's also a success story. And as for support the team provided to me, I think the remarkable period was my maternity leave. It was before COVID times when we had to go to the office on daily basis, and it was so great that team agreed that after, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months, I could work remotely, part-time, and still be part of the team. That was really great. And there was also a fun story there because once I received the call from my manager, and he was just asking, "What are we gonna do without you? Like, can you just not leave? Maybe is there a mistake? Maybe you're not pregnant or something?" I was laughing, but I left everything organized and showed like people who is responsible for what. And when I came back, and it was so great to hear the feedback that everything was just smooth and well. Team handled it just perfectly, and that was such a I don't know, like great feeling that they managed doing that without me. So I think these are all highlights I wanted to bring. It's been incredible. It's incredible to be part of evolution and growth because since I've joined team, the company has grown like 10 times maybe. So always challenging and growing, and I like it about.
And from where you're telling us, I think that it's so good to work in a company that has never lost this humane side of it. Even though it has grown so many, it's never grown out of this human side of it, and it always has treated. Not only we bring the best humans to our problem solving for our business partner, but we keep our humans within the company, our human side within the company, are one of our stronger core feelings, so we can have our employees being the happiest. And I know someone else from this panel has an amazing story for maternity to share with us. Vanessa, do you want to share with us a little more on your maternity story?
Yes, of course. So I just wanted to highlight, and this is more in general, that as you know, Anastasia was mentioning, really team really pays attention to talent, like regardless where you are, location, background. Like whenever they identify talent, they want to retain and they want to keep it, for the long term, because that of course impacts positively the business. And it's just a way of kind of showcasing how or rewarding loyalty among employees. So that's definitely something that it's a highlight for, the talent that, team retains. And then for my specific case, so yes, I mean, I have had a career path within Team International. I don't have as long as a career as Anastasia, but I definitely have been able to kind of have those promotions, in my career path in here in Team, and it's something that I value very much. I also had a maternity leave, and I was able to have the support of my team, so that's something that I value as well. Like it's so important the environment of the team that you work with, because when I left, I was, of course, I mean, in the commercial organization, you're always worried on your customers, you're leaving accounts, who is going to oversee that. when am I coming back? Is it going to be everything, as you left it? So I had the pleasure to one of my colleagues, which is Diego, I believe he's in this call. He was able to kind of cover me while I was, on maternity leave, and I felt super supported. I felt that someone was taking care, of the customers, that everything was gonna be kind of, a smooth in that transition. And I really valued that support from the team. And then when I came back, of course, everything was very smooth. That transition back to, the company. So that's something that I value as well. Not only kind of the support from the company to, retain the talent and the promotions, but also like the people you work with, because that's the people that you see every day and the people that is gonna be your backup, or supporting you whenever you need to be on PTO, sick leave, or maternity leave, which was my case. But I want to kind of highlight that support from my colleague.
Thank you so much, Vanna. And you're so right. Like Laura said, it's really important to know who you're working with, because at the end of the day, that's literally the team that is having your back. And it's really important to know that not only the company has your back, but also the team that you're working with has like that side of you that is an extension of yourself. Thank you so much. Now we're almost at the peak of the hour. We have some questions at the chat, but before we tune into those questions, for all of you guys tuning in today, who are those, especially those emerging leaders or people who are actually seeking to grow into the leadership kind of professional side of the career path, ladies, what advice would you give to those professionals looking to drive change and make an impact in their different industries? Let's start with Eugenia.
Okay, I'll give just simple advice. There is no perfect moment to start. So if you just think about it, just do it. Do the first steps, the second steps, whatever. We all learn by doing. And if you have some ideas, present them, try to explain to your boss or to your team and find the feedback. And I think even if you fail, it's a good start. Like we don't learn from the when we win, we learn from those fails or some questions or some tougher reactions. So I think my advice, just test small ideas, go with these iterations, whatever, like, agile methods work for the development, but they also work for the career, let's say, development. So find your team, or hopefully you have one. And as we discussed here, if they have your back, that's a good foundation. So you can just kind of really be a rocket from that perspective. If you don't have to build it and then do the same, but just do it.
Just go for it. I love that. I love that idea. Thank you so much. Anastasia.
My advice would be, I would say, team concentrated. For me, it's important to foster the culture of support and like when team members can support each other in day-to-day activities, because this environment is really gives the best results and attitudes. So build that and you will be a successful leader, I would say.
Thank you. Vane.
My advice is to have purpose, because not everybody is going to want to be in a leadership position, and that is okay. So my advice is to have purpose, believe in what you really want to accomplish if you would like to be in a leadership position, and of course having a support system. Support system will be other leaders that you can rely on their experience, their outcomes or their achievements, and that is something that can also support you in growing as you move into a leadership position.
Perfect. Thank you. And finally, Laura.
Sure. So as Eugenia say, I think the world belongs to the doer. So, taking action, being proactive, identifying those gaps that you see in your project, in your process, that can add value to the company or your customer. I think that's a key factor to position yourself in any project process. Also, staying adaptable because we live in a world that moves extremely fast. So you just need to consider that tomorrow everything is going to change and that you need to learn a new process, a new technology. You need to be constantly studying and, uplifting your skills and build relationships. Sometimes we say like the workplace is not to do friends, but some of my best friends in life are from this company. So I think building relationships is really important because you spend 70% of your time uh, in the work reality, and also that keeps the door open for other possibilities. They can become a startup, they can go to a new customer. So always building those relationships, I think it's really important. And yeah, live with purpose. You know, understand what is your purpose in life and incorporate that to your day to day. I think that's going to keep you passionate and motivated to keep driving your results and your team results.
Those are amazing, amazing advices. I'm going to take some of my own. Thank you so much, ladies. We have a couple of questions, so we're going to address them really fast before we run out of time. So the first one at the chat is, hi, everyone. Eugenia pointed out some that solutions from one industry may not necessarily work in another, like banking versus healthcare. However, have you encountered situations where insights from a completely different industry provided unexpected value to a client?
That's a good one. um, Unexpected. Actually, yes. So I would mention one of the healthcare clients. Uh, they had like really good one simple task for us to improve their phone call processing time 10 times. And it was mostly like at the beginning, all the conversations again about the healthcare and so on. But then we took the model of actually support groups from other industries, how they process calls, how they prepare scripts, because after all, it's not so many different options that people that call in you will complain about. It's more or less you can kind of guide them. So we greatly reuse those algorithms and scripts, and not only develop the application itself, which they wanted, and ultimately, like less than a year, they got to all these business figures. But we also use some different models from, let's say, our other technical teams, which not utilized normally. And that actually brings a lot of sense, that you don't only automate what clients ask you, but you also go and work with the original problem, and maybe with even their staff, to work smarter, to organize different workflows. So as we discussed, I'm a bit of systematic thinking and just kind of not just blindly or like directly looking at the problem.
Right. And see beyond that. And smart leveraging what we already had. That was really good. Thank you so much for that. And we have another question. Hi team. Vanessa mentioned that some clients look for high independent profiles, while others prefer someone who simply adapts to existing processes. How do you balance these expectations with the reality of the available talent in the market?
We do assessment before, so it's not that we randomly allocate, people to the customer's projects. There is a process in place, a very robust process in place before we even place one engineer to a project. We do an assessment on our end with the requirements of the customers, technical but also soft skills. Then we also do an assessment on the customer side, just to make sure that this person does align and fits what they are expecting. And then when we do that match is when we kind of select the final person who is going to be joining their team. So it's about assessing. We do the assessment before, just to make sure that we verify and match those right skills and talent, just so we don't have
Vane,
disruptions down the road. But Laura can complement as
yeah,
well.
to add to your response, um, one key factor is being like to do the research about what is the project and how is the project. So kind of like collecting that data, it's really important when we start a recruitment process. And one of our values, and we enforce that a lot in the recruitment process, is transparency. So for example, if we know that this project is about maintaining a legacy application, that's a very specific profile and requires a very specific type of engineering. So we go to the market, sharing those aspects about the project so the engineer knows what is going to be the day to day. Or for example, if it's a very independent project and there is no documentation, no project management, nothing like that, we also need to share that information with the person that we are recruiting so they know what is the structure of the project and what to expect. And on top of that, we have two tools. One is a personality test. We normally use something that's called DISC, and that helps us understand, what are the personality traits, and if those personality traits matches what is the reality of the project. And we also have a cultural fit assessment that is like directly with somebody that's working in the project. It can be the team lead, the tech lead, or the delivery manager, to really assess if that person is going to be a match for that particular project. And I think the market has profiles of about everything. So just enforcing that transparency and communicating properly with people is really what drives success in those type of hiring.
You're totally right. Yeah. And actually being really straightforward when, like you said, when coming to those projects and understanding the true needs, as we already stated at the beginning of this webinar, the true needs of what the client needs. So we state the expectations very clear. And so that way we can also make the most out of the solution that we're providing to them. We have another question for Anastasia. Anastasia, your testimony was truly inspiring and highlighted the importance of trust and support from colleagues, especially during transitions like maternity. In your opinion, how can companies cultivate a culture where employees feel confident and that their work will be seamlessly managed in their absence?
Well, the short answer will be knowledge sharing. The long answer would be the companies need to create environment which is supportive, where employees are not afraid to express their opinions, when they know they can come to each other, to their manager, ask any questions, even the dull one, and get an answer that they need. I think that's one component, and another one, low stress from work. And that can be partially resolved by how the problem is solved. For example, I love the approach when we first we understand the situation we're in, then we're taking some actions to correct that, and then we are ensuring that this never will happen again. And it means a low stress without overreacting, and it brings that a good feeling in the working environment. So that would be a long answer.
That's a great answer, though. Thank you so much. And our final question, so we can wrap up this amazing webinar. Laura, curiosity and active listening were highlighted as the key in problem solving. How do you ensure that your team consistently apply these skills when working with clients, especially in industries that they might not be familiar with?
I think one important thing is to, foster an environment where people can make mistakes. Like that's the most important thing. Like if somebody makes a mistake, you just have to breathe and be chill and look for the solution rather than taking actions with the person. So just thinking about the process, what went wrong, and what do we need to do as a team to fix it, and then we can just have private feedback sessions and stuff like that. But creating that environment, I think, is really important. One thing that we do in team that I think it's also very valuable is to have these open communication spaces for people to ask questions like, hey, I need support with this project, I need help with this, has somebody worked with this technology? So having that open communication in the organization also helps people to create a support team, and to foster those conversations in the organization. And I think our L&D department does a pretty good job in creating technical trainings and bringing technical discussions like every month, so people are always studying and staying up to date with the technology and learning new things. I think that combination of factors really creates that culture that we want, of innovation and collaboration and critical thinking. And sometimes just telling to people, what do you need, but not the how, so they can do it themselves. So I think that mix of factors really helps that situation.
And
Makes
one
sense.
angle, if I
Go
may,
ahead.
yeah, just I think one another thing we always do, again, as managers, is trying to provide this bigger perspective, because your job never ends at your testing piece or development piece. So when you build this overall atmosphere again of curiosity, what happens, what is the bigger business picture? So, and you also, it's not only about technical skills, you have to kind of teach your team or kind of help them to get them, but also about this business thinking, what matters. And sometimes, like, it's not obvious the best new solution won't work maybe for this specific customer because the business goal is different. And understanding what is important, what is critical, like for this industry, for this specific client, I think that type of mindset, what also you can bring as a leader to the group, to your team, to help them kind of stay thinking about it and not just limit your individual, let's say, contribution, but rather as a group and as the end product that you deliver.
Agree. I totally agree. And I love to see like the both side, how do you ladies bring both side of the table on how do we address it as a company. I think we have reached the top of the hour of this webinar. Thank you so much, ladies, for all of your shared experiences. I'm more than inspired after this amazing talk. Thank you so much for the insights, the amazing examples that you brought to the table, all of this great talk that we had of this hour. Thank you to the audience for coming in and staying with us. Let's keep this conversation going. Tag any woman that might inspire you. If you have any other questions, tag us in LinkedIn. Reach out. We are more than happy to keep the ball running on the conversations. Our leaders are more than happy to answer any other questions that you might have. So send them over our way into our LinkedIn and we'll follow the conversation there. Thank you so much, ladies. We really appreciate this. Thank you and have you all an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Bye.